we're going to be looking at a very specific topic. Since President Trump has now gone into office, there has been a lot of hoopla about him signing very specific laws, especially on his first day in office. And Nandini, you've gone ahead and looked at some of the social media sites and looked at opinions that are being stated. So our approach is going to be to look at both the liberal and conservative sides and look at what individuals are saying in order to then bring in the Title IX expert perspective, which is coming not from liberal or conservative sides. It won't be leaning any which way politically. It will mainly be real opinion from a neutral standpoint, from a legal, scholarly standpoint. And so, with that said, Nandini, would you like to share with us what exactly the public opinions have been on the specific topic we're discussing today?
Right. So today we're discussing the gender ideology executive order that was signed on 20th Jan itself. And the executive order has essentially resulted in two very distinct conversations on X, formerly known as Twitter. One side of this debate very strongly believes that the signing of the executive order is essentially signaling troubling times ahead, and many are viewing the wordings of this EO to mean two things. Firstly, the erasure of trans and intersex people and their identities. And secondly, that by default, everyone is now categorized as female at birth on the basis of the biological argument that all fetal genitalia are the same and are phenotypically female. But on the other end of this debate, the belief that is held with regards to this executive order is that it should be applauded, and it was a much needed move to kind of protect women and young girls' rights and privacy in public spaces such as bathrooms, prisons, locker rooms, while also ensuring a safe space for them to participate in sports. One area that we've all seen has been the most like contested space for trans and intersex people to participate in. So, what do you think, Dr. Sandy? Like, what does this executive order really mean for Title IX then?
Okay, thanks. And for everyone that is dealing with this topic because it personally affects you, let me start off by saying I'm sorry. I'm sorry that if you are LGBTQ plus in this moment, this may seem like an attack on you, and you very much well feel that everyone is going to be siding against you. I want to publicly say I'm sorry for that emotion and that sentiment. And if you have followed any of our videos in the past, you have seen me discuss and describe how I am a supporter of LGBTQ plus. However, under Title IX, unfortunately, it was never meant to be a platform for LGBTQ plus, and it was really weaponized politically, where individuals, politicians in particular, began to utilize Title IX to fight these ideologies back and forth. And unfortunately, this has kind of led into where we are today. But from an expert neutral perspective, what I will say is that Title IX, when we look at what it actually is described as, what it actually says, and I will read it out loud right now, it says, no person in the United States shall, on the basis, be excluded from participation in, be denied the benefits of, or be subjected to discrimination under any education program or activity receiving federal financial assistance. So, what President Trump did sign into law right now does directly affect Title IX. It counters what the Biden administration was trying to pull into Title IX, which is to also advance it beyond sex and include and incorporate gender identity. However, Title IX, based on where it was, what it began to be, was always focused on sex discrimination. And when we look at sex versus gender, they are very two different definitions. So it's very difficult to look at Title IX through a gender lens when it was always meant to address sex discrimination. That is, men rights, women rights. But at the same time, when I read that description, the first two words say no person in the United States, no person shall experience any type of sex discrimination. So Title IX still lends itself out to support and protect all individuals, regardless of their sex. This intuitively intuitively means also regardless of their gender. So it will still protect everyone. Um, but the debate regarding, men versus female, this is now going to be an attack. I feel that it really is going to depend state by state at this point. There are about 22 states right now that have state laws in place to protect LGBTQ from anti bullying. And those types of laws need to be expanded upon. Those types of laws need to be where the protections are. I'm not going to sit here and argue about conception if the wording on the law was, maybe poorly selected. And what they were really just trying to get at is that there are either men or females in the world. And then, whatever your gender identity is, that will be considered separate, which I feel is what their argument and what they're trying to get into law is. But unfortunately, now the conversation is conception and whatnot. I think it was a poor choice for the lawmakers when he signed it. But at the end of the day, as far as Title IX is concerned, it still protects everyone. It will not discriminate against anyone that is dealing with any form of sex discrimination or sexual violence.
So then can we move forward with the belief that Title IX is still, to the best of our ability, at least a Title IX consulting group, we aim to provide protection and that sense of security and safety almost to everyone who comes to us then?
Absolutely. For the campuses that work with Title IX Consulting Group, or we are consulting for them, or we're there, as their Title IX coordinator, or we are doing investigations, we look at everything from a neutral perspective and we come in to protect everyone. So if anyone experiences any form of sexual violence, sexual discrimination, sexual harassment, it doesn't matter if they are red, blue, yellow, green, orange. We are protecting everyone. And we're looking to ensure that their rights were in place, that due process was in place. That is what we're looking at. We are not looking to see if they were a man, if they were a woman, it doesn't matter. If they were cisgender or not, it does not matter. We protect everyone. Just like those first two words say in Title IX, no person. No person in the United States shall, on the basis of sex, be excluded from participation in. And it goes on, but it's all about sex discrimination and it's protecting everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Sandy. I think it's important during times like this when there's so much confusion and misinformation in certain ways, distrust, fear, that there is platforms available for people to just know the facts, to know the information, to know that they are still protected and taken care of. I think that's really important during times like these. So thank you.
Thank you, Nandini. And, if there is a situation, let's just say, where you are discriminated against and you had a Title IX case, but you're being discriminated against because of your gender, then in those circumstances, you will have the grounds to file a lawsuit against your institution, against your school district, because of the fact that they are discriminating against you and the rights you hold under Title IX. And that will be in an additional area to always keep in mind.
Thank you for that clarification. I think that has been a worry for a lot of people from what I've also seen in the cyberspace, that because of the clear distinction between sex and gender, where do they enter now? How do they feel protected kind of a thing? So I think that is a very important distinction to make. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Nandini. And thank you, everyone, for watching our very first recording. We feel really good about this. We look forward to bringing forward additional topics. I know Nandini will be working behind the scenes, asking all of you to help, inform us. Let us know what are the topics you're interested in so that we can answer them, either me and others from my team. You know, we have attorneys, we have HR specialists, we have individuals that are going to start coming on, including a lot of special guests, a lot of victims, a lot of advocates, a lot of individuals that need to be heard, you know, and again, our focus will always be coming from a neutral perspective.
Thank you.
Thank you.